Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 17th of February, 2025, and I went to 5 different places to see if they would just simply install my rear calipers. Take off the tires, pull the calipers, 2 bolts, unbolt the hoses, put the new calipers on, send me on my way. But they couldn't because I was supplying the parts. They're genuine Toyota brake calipers. Something that none of these parts stores would even use. You see what I'm saying? And getting into Toyota would take weeks. So I'm going to do it myself tomorrow. I can't believe I spent the whole day trying to find a shop. It is what it is. But here's something I got to address. I just got to put this out here real quick. Because way too many people that people consider truthers are falling for the nonsense. And I got to tell you this. I got to say this straight up front. You want to see something? This is what happens when you tell the truth on a YouTube channel. YouTube will smite you. Notice the dates. Notice the dates. Copyright, 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 copyright. And that's as far as I can show you because it does my Gmail doesn't go back anymore. But that's what happens when you tell the truth. They'll demonetize everything. It's not like I was ever making anything on Jailbreak. Jailbreak is a pet project of mine, and I decided to use my platform when things looked like they were going to really get set off, and I paid the price for it. It is what it is. But a lot of channels are simply using people on TikTok to point things out for them, and that freaks me out. Channels that I didn't really expect. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's start with this real quick. Let's take a look at this YouTuber everybody knows.
This is 𝗙𝗲𝗯𝗿𝗂. We have what might be the biggest fraud in history unraveling in front of us. Now that DOGE is diving into all these different departments, and there's a lot of different questions attached to that and what they're doing and what's really going on. But now that they've dove into Social Security, they are uncovering, again, what Elon says could be the biggest fraud in history. They're saying that there are over 20 million Americans collecting Social Security benefits that are over the age of 100. And when you go even further into this, there are benefits still being paid out to people that are over 140 years old. It's absolutely mind-boggling what all is going on here. So he puts this information out there saying that this is the case. Of course, people from the other side saying that they want proof to all this. They have launched a website that shows all the stuff that they're uncovering, where you can click and you can go into detail on everything that's there. One of my biggest questions is, when are the people responsible for all this crime going to go to jail? It seems like a big magic trick. They're coming out and they're telling you about the biggest fraud in history, whether it's this or it's the next story or whatever it is. They're uncovering it left and right. And I guess no one's going to get in trouble? There's no talk of it. You're going to let Biden walk away, pardoning himself for all the crimes of the Biden crime family? I mean, this goes back decades, not just on one president. All these crimes go back decades. People should be held responsible. Will they, though? To me, it seems like a big illusion here. I'm still waiting for Hillary to go to prison, but Trump don't want to do that. So your Gentile Messiah and Mr. Baphomet here, Elon, ripping through all this stuff and tearing down a bunch of departments. On the outside, things look good. It's a whole lot of winning. But with the other hand, they're sliding in the blockchain and everything else. And some just don't get it.
Yeah, some don't get it at all. DOGE isn't doing anything. The fact that 𝗙𝗲𝗯𝗿𝗂 is still up with 500,000+ subscribers, able to monetize, able to do live streams. Live streams are what you do when you're a YouTube creator and you want people to keep sending you money during the live stream. It's an old trick. It is what it is, but whatever. But the funny thing is 𝗙𝗲𝗯𝗿𝗂 doesn't mention anything of any relevance whatsoever at all. DOGE isn't to do anything for Americans. DOGE is the excuse. Stopping corporate and governmental waste and this, that, and the other thing. But nobody's going to get in trouble. Nothing's going to change. What this is doing is allowing Elon's AI, GROK, to absolutely get every single bit of classified government information that it couldn't ordinarily have got. That's all it's doing. That's all it's doing. And 𝗙𝗲𝗯𝗿𝗂 doesn't mention that whatsoever at all. I left a comment, but 𝗙𝗲𝗯𝗿𝗂 blocks me because he's a good guy. You know, he's always out and about. He's another one of those guys that never leaves his house. The internet tells him what news is. I go and see it for myself and for yourselves. But on that, I'll digress. Here's what DOGE is doing.
Particularly output bound. I mean, like your output level is so low. It's like, particularly on a phone, like your two thumbs just sort of tapping away. This is ridiculously slow. Our input is much better because we have a high bandwidth visual interface to the brain. Like our eyes take in a lot of data. So there's many orders of magnitude difference between input and output. So mostly, effectively merging in a symbiotic way with digital intelligence revolves around eliminating the I/O constraint. So it'd be some sort of direct cortical interface.
And you called it a neural lace?
Neural lace, yeah.
It's totally not Google Glass, right?
No, I'm talking about something
but it's
which...
like you wear it? Or you...
No, I mean, it would be... I mean, there are a few ways to approach this, but some sort of interface directly with your cortical neurons particularly.
But doesn't that imply surgical insertion?
Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries because that provides a complete roadway to all of your neurons. Your neurons are very heavy users of energy, so they need high blood flow. So you automatically, with your veins and arteries, have a road network to your neurons.
Still some kind of surgery, right?
It doesn't involve... It doesn't involve, like chopping your skull off or anything like that.
This is why it becomes so important to understand the novelty and the viability of neuroscience is being leveraged as weapons. We then have the use of nanoparticulate agents, aerosolizable nanomaterials that can be breathed in and disrupt blood flow and neurological network activity, that can be used as an in-close weapon, or perhaps that can be used as a more broad weapon of disruption and or destruction. We also have the capability to utilize nanomaterials to get electrodes into a head and to create a vast array of viable sensors and transmitters. This is DARPA's N-cubed program, next generation non-invasive neuromodulation, utilizing these techniques and technologies to create vast arrays of implantable electrodes that need not be put into the brain surgically, that are then able to read from the brain and write into the brain remotely in real time.
I mean, I sometimes describe this technology revolution as the 21st century equivalent of the 19th century industrial revolution, maybe more so. Give us your sense of the scale of this revolution, where it's taking us, and its implications, particularly for a lot of the people who are here today who are in government.
Well, about 18 months ago, when we began to fully grasp what the people at OpenAI, ChatGPT had achieved, a level of artificial intelligence that would actually advance human thinking. We created neural networks that could answer questions that human brains would struggle with. When we came to grips with that, I made a speech and I said, is artificial intelligence the most important discovery in the history of humankind? And question mark, maybe. We'll soon find out. 18 months later, I think it's very, very clear. It is a much bigger deal than the Industrial Revolution, electricity, everything that's come before. We will soon have not only artificial intelligence, but much sooner than anticipated, artificial general intelligence, and not in too distant future, artificial superintelligence.
We'll have digital God, so you have to have digital God at that point.
What is artificial and superintelligence?
There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want.
I'll quote my dear friend Elon Musk. Well, Elon said about artificial superintelligence, I'm not looking forward to being a house cat.
You know, this is a new world, right?
We'll have digital God, so you have to have digital God at that point.
The Department of Government Efficiency is doing nothing more than allowing Elon Musk access to everything the government has access to, under the guise of doing it to save Americans millions of dollars every year and to cut government waste. No, it isn't. It's to get in there and get information that they couldn't pull from every place else. The government has things in place to keep people from coming in and hacking your personal information from the IRS, from Social Security, from, on and on and on. DOGE walks right through the door and Americans are applauding it. Meanwhile, all the information they're gleaning is going directly to Elon's supercomputer, GROK, and all the other supercomputers that are out there. I'm sorry, AI. And if you want to play ball, you have to go along with the left-right paradigm. You can't mention God in videos, unless of course you're a channel like this one. End Times Productions is a channel that has almost 1 million subscribers, and they are what's called a quote-unquote truth channel. But the problem with that is They just put out a video calling the CIA is hiding this from the public, and they're talking about the shape of the Earth. And in this video, they're literally holding up NASA's viewpoint. They're literally promoting scientism, saying that the Bible was written in parables in different ways, and they didn't understand what they were talking about. Really? The guys that talked to God and then wrote what he said didn't know what they were talking about? The guys that spoke to the Most High, God Almighty, didn't know what they were writing in the Bible, and they go on and on. I've had about 75 people send me this video, and it's astonishing to me. It's astonishing. Many people in the comments said the CIA isn't hiding this. You're the CIA. Well, I don't think they're the CIA, but they're just straight sellouts. They know they can't talk about flat Earth, or their channels will get demonetized, and they won't get all their views, and they won't get all their money, because they make a lot of money from this channel. But literally saying that they believe in the Bible, but the Bible was wrong. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. That's exactly why I was promoting confusion in Christianity and confusion in the cosmos, because it doesn't tell you what it thinks. It shows you what the Bible says verbatim, over and over and over. These guys know what the shape of the Earth is, and anybody that's actually left their house and touched grass and got out some telescopes and did some actual real world testing, the Earth is flat. You can zoom in on a light in the sky that suddenly turns into an entity. Do you see what I'm saying? With the human eye, this is simply a pinpoint of light in the sky. But once you zoom in on it with a couple of 1,000 millimeters of lenses, you see what it is. When I started my channel, I believed in the globe Earth. You know what I'm saying? Until I got a P900 and I started realizing, I'm like, wow, this is weird. You can focus in on stars, but they kind of look like they're behind water. Because they are. That's exactly what they are, period. And some of the things you can catch on video are some of the same exact drawings you see in old biblical text. Straight up. You see that? With the human eye, it's a pinpoint of light. But if you focus on it, there you go. There you go. And that's all I'm saying. I got too many things open at one time. So End Times Productions is off my list. Dabu, I never listened to him anyways, because this is Dabu 7. He's all spooky. Yeah, I'm all set with that. I don't need to know. I'm all set. It is what it is. But then there's another channel that I followed for a long time, and it was called Anonymous Official. An Anonymous Official just put this up, and apparently their sources of information are now TikTok. Beautiful. Because TikTok is a bastion of human knowledge. Okay, so right here, they're using, I'm not defending Trump or Elon, but Trump and Elon are in the Oval Office, and Elon's son, X, is in there as well. And TikTok discovered what he said. Listen to this.
You know, I wasn't even going to post on this, and then I saw some clips that changed my mind, and I'll show you those in a moment. But first, Elon Musk yesterday, along with his son, Little X, held a press conference in the Oval Office to discuss what DOGE is doing. And there was a hot mic that caught some of it. So first is this little gem.
To restore democracy. This may seem like, well,
you heard that too, right? You're not the president. You need to go away. I'll play the clip a second time. Just you watch it. Need to go away. I'll play the clip a second time. Just you watch and tell me if that's what he said.
To restore democracy. This may seem like,
that's what he said, but I'll go one better, because he also said this.
The prices from one year to the next are the same, and their mortgage.
That one's clear today. He says, "I want you to shut your mouth up," and there's already people who are like, "Ow."
Okay, watch where the kid's looking, and Trump actually looks where he's looking as well.
Restore democracy. This may seem like, well,
you heard that too, right? You're not the president. You need to go away. I'll play the clip a second time. Just tell me if that's what he said.
Restore democracy. This may seem like,
that's what he said, but I'll go one better, because he also
said this.
The prices from one year to the next are the same, and they're you know.
Sorry about the mix-ups, but it is what it is. You can clearly see the kid is looking over Trump's desk, straight at some people. He's not looking at Trump at all. But Anonymous official, almost 4 million subscribers. Anonymous used to have legit info drops. But just like Jason A. and so many others, Anonymous has turned into absolutely banned videos. You know what I mean? The same exact stuff that we're seeing from Jason A. Now, why am I telling you this? Because I'm pissed off. Because there was a lot of us. And it's amazing how few of us are still left doing this for no money, no fame, no anything. It's actually quite the opposite. We're trying to save people that are good people that think they know the Bible, that don't belong to lose their eternal souls. Straight up. Strike me dead right now if I'm lying. Period. At any rate.
With breaking news into Fox Weather, a heartbreaking update. Fox Weather has confirmed that these storms have turned deadly in Kentucky. Officials say a Clay County man, a 73-year-old man, was found dead in Horse Creek area. That's Clay County, after apparently being knocked off his feet by rushing waters. Officials say the victim had gotten out of his stalled car on a highway. So these are the hazards that we always talk about. The flooding occurs, car stalls out, gentleman gets out of his vehicle, and the situation turns tragic.
Well, all that weather was pretty lame, but there's a lot of places where it's getting flooded out and getting absolutely smoked. And here's why. You see these happy little fellas down here? You see all these Doppler NEXRAD radar towers lighting up? They're literally lighting up above and below and focusing the weather straight over to the northeast. I just talked to my father, and they're getting smoked with snow and freezing rain. You know what I'm saying? But this isn't natural. None of it's natural. They're taking whatever Mother Nature's throwing at us, they're amplifying it, and then they're literally directing it. You can watch it live on their own channels. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing to me. It looks like UW-Madison Department of Atmosphere has somehow figured out how to turn off the Dopplers so we can't see them. But on COD, College of DuPage, you can still see them. As long as these things are lit up, it's literally creating a funnel that's bringing that weather to those people. And then, of course, you've got the media using words like dead. A 73-year-old guy died in a winter snowstorm after stepping out of it. You know what? That happens. It's nothing new. But it's deadly, dangerous. They are smoking us with airplanes raining from the sky at all times. And then the weather. The airplane in Anchorage, the airplane up in Alaska, people are making a conspiracy out of that too. I can't believe it just fell from the sky and smashed and it didn't explode. Atmosphere, temperature, Alaska. Planes go down in Alaska all the time. It's astonishing how many planes go down. But the other planes, yeah, that's all part of the new system. They're going to get us with the weather because they won't stop. I did mention back in the old days, back in 2020, I said when they go for the New World Order, when they actually start pushing it, when the time comes, when the dollar goes away, they're going to use the weather because they've been literally making the weather for years and years and years, and suddenly someone just turned it up to 10, and I'd have to say that someone turning it up to 10 is AI, and I'm sure that AI is also taking over all these airplanes that are going down or whatever, at any rate. And real quick, we still got this kid talking about the fog, the mystery fog. Every video he puts up is about fog. The fog in Florida is killing everybody and making everybody sick. Guess where I am? Guess where there's no fog? I haven't seen fog since I got baptized. That was back in Louisiana. I went from Louisiana to California to Oregon to Texas to Florida, broke down. No fog, none whatsoever at all. And I pay attention and videotape this stuff. I've seen an astronomical amount of chemtrailing going on, which is just utterly astonishing to me.
So for those that don't know, that's what geoengineering looks like. That's it right there. There's the sun. And the sun has a white haze in front of it that's coming out of these airplanes. But if you look that way, sky's relatively blue. Same thing that way. But in front of the sun, no way. "20 minutes later."
The problem that we have is way too many people that fancy themselves truthers never leave the building. They gain all their information off the internet, and sadly now they just get it off of TikTok. Anybody that sees something they don't understand, it's a conspiracy. Do you see what I'm saying? The little kid talking, he wasn't saying that to Donald Trump at all. He was talking, Trump's sitting here. He's talking to these media people. He's still a rude little kid, but still. You know what I mean? Elon's got a lot of kids, apparently. It is what it is. The guy's been around for 3,000 years or whatever. At any rate, I'm not bashing these other channels. I kind of am. But you got to understand, whatever you take in, you're going to think. If you're taking in the wrong stuff, you're going to think the wrong stuff. And that's exactly what these people are doing. And what are they doing it for? Money. Ritchie from Boston. I'm out.